Hey everybody, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing fantastic today. So, we are doing another session with God, which is amazing because the first three, I was going to go like this, the first three we've done were so good, and you guys still had more questions because, right? Who else to ask? So, if you haven't seen parts 1, 2, and 3, of the lead team collective tapping into God. In fact, we actually go directly to God, then using the dowsing rods. Then I will post those at the end of this video. Okay, so I'll post part 1 here, part 2, and part 3. It'll show up, they'll pop up at the end of the video. If you're brand new and you're wondering what the heck I'm doing with these things, then I do have a Start Here playlist that I will pop up at the end of the video here. Okay, so yeah, so we've got 21 more questions to ask God, and that's what we will do. Very, very interesting. We are going to tap in. Let's see, some of the questions are about creation, evolution, altered DNA, and the very exciting topic of aliens or ETs. Okay. Then actually on Friday, so today, it depends on when you're watching this, but 2 days from now, or if it's longer than 2 days from now, it'll be in the Ask the Spirit Guides playlist. We are doing a video with the Spirit Guides with talking about aliens and ETs specifically. So questions you guys have had. Okay. Then we also are doing a call out today in the post area of the channel for soul families. I'm really excited to do that one. I think that'll be really good. So what questions do you guys have about soul families? We're doing a call out on myths, like myths you want to, or like urban legends that you want to ask the SGs or the lead team collective, true or false. Okay. And we're probably going to do another call out on Elvis very, very soon. So even today. So watch out for those. Okay. In the post area of the channel. All right. Okay. Well, let's get started. I'll start with the prayer just to make sure we're protected here and talking to who we want to. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light. And ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel. You guys see what I'm watching there? I'll show you in a minute. Your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is only of the highest and purest light. Amen. Anybody else watching Wimbledon by chance? I do like professional tennis. I like watching it. Obviously, I don't play professional tennis. Right now, Novak is playing. I don't know if you can see that, but so I have to have it on because I needed to record for today, but he's in the middle of a quarterfinal, so I will look after this video. Okay, so, all right. So, hey, you guys, talking to my guides. How are you today? Awesome. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate your time and all your love and support and guidance. Now is a great time to thank your own team and the lead team collective. So, hey, you guys, can we tap into the lead team collective, please? Awesome. Okay, are you guys here? So if you're wondering what the lead, L-E-A-D, team collective is, that is the name that all of our spirit guides, all of our spirit teams in this community have named themselves. So that's just the name they gave me when I said, hey, I want to have a group when we call in all of our spirit teams. So it's not just my spirit teams that are answering us, it's all of ours. So you can feel, it is partly your guidance as well. Does that make sense? And so I asked them on the pendulum, and that's the name they gave me, was Lead Team Collective. So LTC. Okay. And they had a whole thing like what L stood for and T and C. Actually, what lead, L-E-A-D, T-E-A-M. I have it all listed. In fact, I think I'll put it in the newsletter this week. If you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, the QR code's right there. But I'll put it in the newsletter this week. I meant to do that last week, but I'll stick it in there this week. Okay, so lead team, hello. Thank you for all your support and love and guidance. So we are wanting to do a part 4, talking with God. And should we call in God directly, or do you want to answer the questions for us? So they said yes to directly and no to answer for us. Now, if you haven't watched part 1, 2, and 3, and I think this was in part 1, is we got sort of down to what exactly is God? Like, what is it? And again, this is just one interpretation, entertainment purposes only. You have to go with what feels comfortable to you, okay? This iteration of what they told me based on the questions you guys asked actually makes a lot of sense for me. It actually feels good to me. But if it doesn't feel good to you, then this explanation, just you don't need to take it. Okay. You don't need to let it sink in and be, and use that as your definition. Okay. But they were saying, based again on the questions that we asked, is that God refers to all spiritual beings combined as one consciousness. So we're all a part. It's not necessarily like it's not a hierarchy. Like, it's not like this one ultimate, being. That's how I interpreted it. And that actually makes me, it just resonates with me. So you have to go with what resonates with you. Okay. So when we talk about God, that's kind of where I'm coming from, but you can use it wherever you're coming from. Okay. Okay, so you guys, talking to the lead team, you want me to, are we going to call in God then to answer these questions? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do that. Hello, God. See, it feels funny. Hello, God. Hi, how are you? Now, I will say there was somebody who was really not happy with the fact in one of the videos, maybe probably others, it's just one that I was aware of, was not happy that I felt that I could have a direct conversation with God. And my only, and that's fine. Like, people, you can have whatever opinions you want. I mean, obviously. So my only thing is, what I would do is, when you're triggered with anything I say, anything anybody says, okay, Trump, whatever, every time we're triggered, it's a great opportunity to ask, why am I triggered? Why am I triggered? Not why did Karen trigger me, but why am I triggered by this topic? Why did I get upset by this situation? Okay. Not why did that person make me upset, but why did I get upset? Okay. That's the whole, like, not taking things it's taking ownership, but not taking it personally. It's like, well, what is it in me that feels triggered about this topic? What is my conditioning? What is the things that I've been taught throughout my life that now there's a different perspective here that's making me feel uncomfortable? What is it about that perspective that's making me feel uncomfortable? And I'm saying that because we are really challenged right now, aren't we, to do that with what's going on in the United States government. Okay. So it is, I think, a very spiritual question, and in our highest and best interest to keep asking that question rather than stay in the trigger, rather than say, it's interesting because, like, I have found myself in the past, and not as much right now. Now, it doesn't mean I won't in the future again, but saying things like, oh, I call BS on that, like, if you hear somebody say something like, I call BS on that, and it's like, okay, well, but that has nothing to do with that person. The question is, why do you call BS on it? You know what I mean? What is it in you that is not resonating? And then digging into that. And, we could spend all day, every day digging into stuff, because we're, how many times do you get triggered every day? Depends on your mood, right? Depends on what's going on. So anyways, that was kind of a little side note, but it's just something I'm working on and being a little bit more cognizant. And I can thank, F45 for that crap, because he's really pushing us, which, is part of his life plan, his birth chart, his blueprint, life blueprint to do that. What are we calling those? Soul contracts. So obviously, doesn't mean he's a good person. It's just that he's obviously been part of his soul contract is to bring up some of this stuff because he's really doing it. So I highly doubt that that's not part of his soul contract when it's happening in so many of us, So, so the question is why, Okay, so let's get on to it, right? Okay, so God, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And all your love and support. And if there's anything, I guess I call on you right now, God. My request right now is a nicer way to say it. I didn't mean to say I call on you right now. My request for you right now is to heal our fear-based thoughts and emotions and help us see things clearly so that it is in our best interest and all of our best interests, whatever you can provide clarity on. Now, you guys can say the same. So I've just sort of asked for some guidance from God. So you can say, yes, me too, or you don't need, it doesn't have to include you. You know what I mean? So I just figure if we've got an open channel here, might as well say a little prayer while we have the open channel. So yes, please help to, on behalf of our community, just help each of us individually and collectively, for those who are asking for it now, to help clear our fear-based thoughts, feelings, reactions, and help us just see things clearly with new, open-minded and new perspectives on the world, okay, as we go through these massive, massive changes. So really appreciate that. Okay, so we have 21 questions for you. Is it safe to assume that these questions in front of me are in our highest and best interest to know? Yes? Okay, thank you. If there's anything that's not in our highest and best, please refrain from answering. Does that sound good? Yes. Okay. All right, number 1. Does everything, including Earth, exist only in consciousness? Oh, that's weird. See, I don't know if I can ever get my head wrapped around that. Let me just ask that again. He said yes, he or she, I'm going to say they are saying yes. Okay. Does everything, including Earth, exist only in consciousness? Yes. Okay. The follow-up was, if no, is the Earth a physical reality? So is the Earth a physical reality? No. I don't know. I have such a hard time getting my head wrapped around that. Are our bodies a physical reality? No. Okay. Did anything exist before you? Yes. I don't even know how to answer a follow-up question. Well, let's see what number 3 is. Did you create all that exists in the universe? Yes. Did you create all that exists in all dimensions? Yes. So do you guys, what kind of follow-up questions would you have to, did anything exist before you? And they said yes. So before you would be like just black matter? No. I have no idea what would exist prior. Did you create evolution? Yes. Did the Big Bang, as humans define it, really happen? The Big Bang? Yes. Did the Big Bang lead to consciousness? Yes. Are there powers or consciousness equal to you? Yes. Is there a hierarchy within consciousness? or in the spirit realm or wherever we're, no. Okay. So there's not a hierarchy, but is there a difference in experiences? Yes. Is there a difference in vibration, higher, lower? Yes. But are any of those better or worse than the others? No. See, I think that's really ego-based. Like, we're doing that, which is why I keep exploring the idea of, I call BS on that. Because when you do that, that is ego. Your ego is calling BS on it because you're like, nope, if you're telling me that, that means I'm wrong. Because what I've been believing all along means that's why you call BS on something. At least that's why I do. And so I call on BS on something when something's really challenging a belief that I have. That's just, again, my interpretation of that. So they don't, would that be an accurate description, God, of what I'm talking about in terms of ego versus yes? Okay. So do you ever call BS on things in the spirit realm? No. Does that mean you don't deal with things? No. So you deal with things, but not without judge. You deal with things without judgment. Yes. That's a nice place to be, don't you guys think? Because you can still respond to, let's just say, F-45 stuff, You can still respond, but from a neutral place. Like, okay, this doesn't resonate with me. It resonates with you. It doesn't resonate with me. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to do this. These are the actions I'm going to take because it doesn't resonate with me. It's fine if it resonates with you. Although it's fine. I don't know. I'm just always exploring this because it's such an interesting time to be exploring this part of our spirituality because he sure is bringing it out in us. Okay. Are there powers? Okay, we talked about that. Are there powers of consciousness equal to you? So yes. Okay. Is there a mother of creation? No. Is there a father of creation? No. Are mother and father just human terms? Is that why you're saying it like that? Yes. Was creation done by all of us, the collective? Yes. And when we say creation is an ever ongoing thing, correct? Past, present, future? Yes. Okay. Did God... Oh, okay. So I'm still going to ask this question just for the opposite. But so is there a mother of creation? They said no. Did God create a mother of creation? No. Is there a realm with a mother goddess and a father god? Oh, yes. Is that because that's what spirits have created? Oh, yes. Okay, that's just trippy. That's just trippy. Okay, so there is a realm. See, now it all depends on how you ask these questions. So there is a realm with a mother goddess and a father god. Yes. And people who, let's just say, are very strong Christians, will they be in that realm when they transition? Well, I don't know if that's the right realm for them, but mother goddess, I don't know. But so like they would meet Jesus, that would be their transition. Yes. Are they actually meeting Jesus when they transition? No. Okay, that's trippy. That's just trippy. But they believe they are meeting Jesus. I mean, how is this any different than like shit we believe and then we find out we're wrong or we find out we had a different perspective or they're like, yes. Okay. Okay, I can see a part 5 coming. Oh, goodness gracious. This doesn't even have to be with God. It could just be like understanding consciousness. We could do a session on just understanding consciousness. I can see the corner of the TV is. Would anybody like to watch Wimbledon? Well, actually, I don't know if YouTube would like that. Okay. Yeah, we could do one on just consciousness or reality. That would be interesting too. Let me know in the comments, you guys, if you want to do, or start asking those questions. Like if this is bringing up other questions, we can, pile them together. Okay. If source is love, so positive energy, high vibration, does hate, anger, etc. diminish that love? No. Okay. Is the description of the creation of Adam and Eve in the Bible true? Okay, I'm getting a yes and no. So does it make a difference if someone believes it to be true? Yes. So I mean, would this really be, I don't know anything about the Akashic Records, and we are going to be exploring that starting in August in the Spirit Circle, where we've got a book that we're going to be exploring. But, I mean, would that be in the Akashic Records? I have no idea. Like, how could that be in the Akashic Record? I guess I don't even know what the Akashic Records is. But if something really didn't exist and it just exists because you've told it, you can be told something exists and then it doesn't. Like you've seen, obviously you've seen those movies like where people are, they're in a bunker because they thought there was a nuclear something. They come out 25 years later and it's because they were told that's what they believe, right? So does that kind of thing end up in the Akashic Records? I know we have people here who understand the Akashic Records. So we definitely have to do that, you guys, and we have to do A Course in Miracles. The abbreviated version. Not the long version. That would take us, I don't know, I probably won't be alive by the time we can finish talking about that. Okay, so let's see. Is the description of the creation of Adam and Eve in the Bible true? So yes and no. If no, did mankind evolve from individual cells? Yes. So mankind did evolve from individual cells. So is the creation of Adam and Eve physically true? I mean, did it actually happen? No. Okay, so, but it is true because people believe it's true, so people can conjure that up, correct? Yes. So they could see it in a realm if they wanted to. Yes. Okay. So would you say it's a fairy tale, Adam and Eve? Yes. Okay. All right, interesting. Has the earth been reset or wiped out several times? Yes. Did you flood the earth in Noah's time? No. Have the remnants of the ark been discovered in recent times? No. Was there an actual ark that Noah was on with animals? Is that what it is? No. Okay, is that also a fantasy? Is that also a story that's been told? Yes. Okay. Again, you got to discern this because you might be like, what the F? What the F is going on here? And, this is entertainment purposes only, but really, it's just to open our minds a little bit, on any topic. That's why we do all these topics, not just on this one. So, okay. Let's see. Have there been advanced civilizations on Earth before 10,000 BC? Oh, wow. Yes. Before 50,000 BC? Yes. Before 100,000 BC. Yes. Well, yeah, because isn't the Earth like 65 million years old or something like that? Yes. Is it like 65? They're saying yes, but is it older than that? No. Okay, I'd have to look that up. Let's see. I'm just curious. Okay, so they are saying, Google says, hey God, Google says that, I guess that's how you're at, how I'm asking, radiometric dating, that Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. But there's something about plus and minus 50, plus and minus 50 million years. So, hey God, you just told us that Earth was 65 million years old. Yes. Is it really 4.543 billion years old? No. Okay. Are you saying that the scientists are wrong who've done the calculations here? No, it does say plus and minus 50 million years, but still, that would still be in the billions. So are you saying, oh, so are you saying no to that, 50, plus or minus 50 million years? Yes. So I don't know. Take that all with a grain of salt. It's hard to say. Okay, back to my questions. All right. Okay, we talked about that. Well, have there been past, okay. Have there been past civilizations on Earth which were more advanced than our current one? Yes. Are we going back to that in the golden future? Back to a more advanced civilization? Yes. Okay. Is our life on Earth created by what we truly believe? Yes. And that's where I was listening to a person, and I'm not quite ready. I have to listen to this person a little bit more because they've got me a little bit challenged. So, and it's someone who says that they're channeling Jesus, actually. So, and I'm not doubting this person, but, I'm discerning. But it was interesting because, what was I going to say? Civilization. Oh, about the creation. So they were basically talking about how Musk and Trump, like their soul contracts, they didn't use soul contracts, but is to be a disruptor. Now, I get that. Like we've talked about that. I've done 3 sessions with Trump's soul, with his higher self and his lower self, actually. But that they're meant to be disruptors, both Elon and Trump, because we've been asking for this. This is like people have been praying and asking for an easier, better life, and that the old systems aren't working for them. And so they have been brought into the situation to be a disruptor. Okay. The challenge is for me, this is why I was talking about this even today, because I had just listened to this morning. And the challenge for me, and it's not that this person just didn't, they weren't one way or the other. They were just, she was communicating Jesus. Jesus was communicating through her. But I was on my walk today and I said, Jesus, I heard what you said, but I guess I think there could have been a different way. It's fine to be a disruptor. I have no problem with disrupting things. As you can tell, I have no problem with challenging, but not challenging, but just looking at things from a different perspective. I have no problem with that. But did they have to be the biggest a-holes in the world? Did it have to be, and then you go, well, maybe it did. Maybe that's the only way we would be forced to change. Maybe that's why so many people are spiritually waking up, because he did this. Now, when we talk to his lower self, Trump's lower self, he apologized. Oh, actually, his higher self apologized. Okay. So the lower self was an interesting conversation, but basically wasn't quite moving as fast as he wanted to, I think, if I remember correctly. So, but, I just don't, it's like, well, why? Yeah, I mean, it's such a trippy thing to think about. Like, we are creating our own reality, collectively and individually. And then this actually is one other thing, and I'll stop my commentary for today. I've got only a couple more questions left. But the other thing that I'm tossing around in my head, and is just a reminder, something that I'm going to continue bringing here, because this is something I'm trying to remember. One is when I feel any fear about anything, to heal my fear-based thoughts, okay? Because I am finding I've been asking that every time I feel a little fear about something, or I get pissed, because of an approach that they're taking. And that is a fear-based thought. So I'm like, why? Because anger comes from fear. If there is just two emotions, fear and love, then anger comes from fear, right? So that's a fear-based thought. And I'm not kidding you, within like maybe 2 or 3 hours, I'm able to just find peace with that. Not that I accept it, but I have found peace with it, So from a higher spiritual perspective, how can we, and I said this earlier, how can we look at things from a neutral place? Plus, this was what I actually wanted to say right now. I just had to remember it. This person who was channeling Jesus also said, when something is not directly affecting you, I'll take the Texas situation. Okay. So the floods in Texas is very sad, right? It's very, very sad. And it must have been very scary. And it's very scary for people who haven't found their families. We all can imagine what that must be like. If you're not there, you can imagine. If you've never experienced it, you won't know 100%. And I think that's why some of us, that's why it feels awful, right? But God, or Jesus, was reminding us through this person that if you're not having that experience, you should not be focused on it, okay? So, let that sit for a little bit. And it was a reminder, they were reminding us to not spend so much time looking at experiences around the world, around the planet, that have nothing to do with us. If we didn't have phones, which is why they want us to have our phones. He even said this. They even said this through the channel, is they want you to have your phone so that they can always keep delivering these negative messages to you. We use Ground News, as you guys know. I've been talking about it, and which you can get 40% off of Ground News. And we love it because we can find high factuality articles. But I have Ground News popping up on my phone, and it doesn't pop up that much. But why do I even have it popping up? I'm actually going to turn the notification off. If I want some news, I can go in and look at it. But why do I want Ground News to be able to control when it's giving me news, right? So anyway, so what Jesus said, again, whether I don't know 100, I mean, you don't know 100% who's chatting with me through here either. You know what I mean? You just have to go with what feels good and what just helps you, If this kind of if hanging out with me and this kind of conversation is helpful, then continue to come back. If it's not helpful, then don't continue to come back. And that would be the same for anything, in your life, So what they said was to send prayers to it, so it's like, okay, so I'm aware now that this happened in Texas. Okay. It's the same thing that happened in West Virginia. Okay. So, the same situation, just this flood came through that hadn't come through, just happened to be on 4th of July. And I know there's speculation about that and like manipulating the weather and all this kind of stuff. But, So you send prayers and you say, ask their guides to give them as much comfort as possible, whatever's in their highest and best. And then you need to get on and live your life. And it's the same thing, and we've talked about this many, many times. Unless something's knocking on your door. Now, that doesn't mean you can't, if you're moved to make a phone call like we've been making this week, right, to the attorney generals. If you're moved, you get some information, you think it's helpful, you want to make those action calls, but then you let it go. Then you let the attorney generals deal with it, right? And you don't fixate on it. Get on with your life, And that's basically, that message resonated with me as a good reminder to even people who are close to you, who are having a hard time. It's like, if you can't support them directly, if you can, then absolutely do it, right? Because that's part of the soul families working together and helping each other. But if there's something across the world that's happening, for you to sit in a deep depression about it, or for you to spend a half a day feeling like crap about it, is basically what he was saying, is why are you doing that? That is not your experience to have. It's not your experience to have. You can care about it, but from a place of neutrality, if you can do something, send some money, send some supplies, do those kind of things, but don't let it change how you respond in your day. And it's just such a good reminder, like right now. And so it's something that I'm going to be working on and just continuing to encourage us to do that. And I know we know everybody knows how hard that is, right? It was just a good reminder. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this all came from question 16. So is our life on earth created by what we truly believe? So yes. Okay. I know the other day I was reading an oracle card, I think yesterday and it said, well, we all know life on earth is challenging. And I immediately went, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are we saying that? Why are we saying that? If you believe that if your life has been challenging, then okay, I've got to be careful how to say this because you don't want to blame yourself. But you have to take ownership. So it's not about blame, it's just about ownership. So it's like, how many times do you find yourself saying, life is just hard, life is just difficult, life is okay? Well, is your life hard and difficult? And does it ever get any better if you keep saying that, right? So, I mean, that's a really basic one, but we do create our own reality. It's, and well, then we got the whole birth chart thing and the what we wanted to experience here too. So, well, we created that. But that is hard for people. I know some people are going to be triggered about that. So if you're triggered about that, you need to ask again, why am I triggered? Okay, is the umbilical cord not only a lifeline as a baby grows in the womb, but also becomes an invisible line that keeps us attached to you, God, while we are here on earth? Oh, cool. Yes, that is amazing. So it is a lifeline, the umbilical cord. So yeah, so we have energy cords, right? Yes. Do we all have an energy cord that goes to the other realm, like to our spirit families, to our soul families? Yes. Do we have a cord that goes to you? Well, see, again, it's all one big collective. Yes. Okay. That's cool. Because I've learned about cords, and so you can actually, if you are having a hard time separating from someone, like emotionally, even when you're not even around them, but you keep thinking about them or whatever, like I have done that before, especially when I was working with people, and it would just be, sometimes it was just so hard because you couldn't, their energy was just like always around me, but you can do a cut, clear, cancel on their energy. Or I was taught this is just I respectfully, this is what I would say, I respectfully disconnect any energy cords that I have with them. And because if you respectfully, you don't want it to be like, boom, And in fact, I was told that when you do that, don't be surprised that you get a call from them because your cord might have just like severed and which made them think of you, So, anyways, that's interesting. If anyone knows anything about chords, please put them down below. But that's a whole nother topic we could explore too, because that's a very helpful technique. And I think it's about creating your own experience. It's like, even if there's no chord, I can't physically see it. I bet some of you guys can. But at least it feels like I'm doing something. I can, I have control over this. I can disconnect my energy from your energy. Boy, I'm awfully chatty today. Chat, 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 chat. Okay. Did humans come from another planet? No. Okay. So we developed here on this earth as who we are today. I mean, we started here on earth from a cell, they said, right? Okay, so yes. Okay. But was that cell brought from another planet? No. Okay. Okay. I do that because I'm like, it just blows my mind. Like when I try to even think where to go with that. Are human beings the only souls with the spark of God inside? No. Okay. Are all beings throughout the galaxy, the universe, do all beings have the spark of God inside? Yes. Okay. And actually, that's kind of a cool way to think of it, the spark of God. If you have the spark of God in you, if we all do, then we are all God, right? And it is kind of the same because, I think they teach that you are born from God. God. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. I know I won't get the language right. Okay. Was our original DNA manipulated? Yes. Was it manipulated by you? No. Was it manipulated by ETs? No. Was it manipulated by us? Like each person, each soul that came down here? Yes. Okay. Did you create aliens? No. Because what we think of aliens, he's already saying yes. So did you create what humans might think of as an alien? No. Okay. Do aliens actually exist? Well, yes. Okay. So aliens are just another spiritual being having a different experience, correct? Yes. So we're spiritual beings having a human earthly experience. Yes. And they're a spiritual being having a different experience, but they might look differently than us. And so we on Earth call them aliens. Yes. Or ETs. So in essence, then you did create aliens. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. So that was a nice lead-in, Marcia. Good job. So in 2 days, so on Friday, or just look for this in the Ask the Spirit Guides playlist, there will be, we've done ETs. I think we've done, well, no, we did, when all of those UFOs, we did UFOs. I guess we've never done aliens and ETs. I don't know. I've done so many, I can't even remember now. So, okay, you guys, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.